After Adam and Eve were cast out of Eden, their lives began with tears, toil, and pain. When Cain killed Abel, God said, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." In Noah's day, when people groaned under sin, God prepared salvation through Noah. Abraham and Sarah suffered long years of barrenness, but God gave them the promised son. In the wilderness, Hagar wept, and she called him the God who sees me. Jacob wrestled in fear and anguish at the Jabbok River, and God renamed him Israel. Joseph, thrown into prison unjustly, was lifted by God to the throne of Egypt. The Israelites groaned under slavery in Egypt, and God heard their cry. Moses, weary in the wilderness, was called by God through the burning bush. At the Red Sea, when terror filled the people, God opened the waters to deliver them. In the days of the judges, when enemies crushed Israel, God raised Gideon as a deliverer. Hannah wept bitterly for a child, and God gave her Samuel. David hid in caves from Saul's pursuit, yet God became his refuge. The psalmist cried, "Put my tears in your bottle," and God heard his lament. Elijah, under the broom tree asking for death, was fed by an angel of God. Elisha restored life to the widow's son, wiping away her grief. Job sat in ashes, stripped of everything, yet God turned his mourning into restoration. Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, lamented over ruined Jerusalem, but God gave words of hope. Daniel was cast into the lion's den, yet God sent his angel and delivered him. Esther risked her life before the king, and God saved his people. From the depths, the psalmist cried, "Out of the pit I call to you," and God listened. Isaiah declared, "He has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows," promising the coming Messiah. Zechariah proclaimed hope. "Every tear is noticed by the Lord." Zechariah and Elizabeth, long childless, rejoiced as God gave them a son in old age. Jesus in Nazareth brought good news to the poor and freedom to the oppressed. He saw the sick, the blind, the outcasts, and healed their pain. At Nain, Jesus looked upon a widow's tears and gave life back to her son. At Bethany, Jesus saw Mary and Martha weeping for Lazarus, and he wept with them. In Gethsemane, Jesus prayed in agony until his sweat fell like drops of blood. On the cross, he bore the ultimate abandonment, and through his pain, God brought salvation. The early church prayed under fierce persecution, and the Holy Spirit comforted them. Paul, imprisoned in chains, sang hymns, and God shook the prison doors open. John, exiled on Patmos in loneliness, was lifted by visions of God's glory. At the end of all things, God promises, he will wipe away every tear. No more death, no more pain, forever.